Welcome to Retro Cac Accumulations, back for a collection update and kind of a vlog video. Just doing something a little relaxed because I haven't picked up a lot of videos. And first off, I'd like to thank B Jr. from Endurance Productions, B Jr.'s Movie Cave, for introducing me to Yuengling beer. I never heard of this until he recommended it, and finally I gave it a try tonight. And I must say, he really picked a winner. So, and hey, may lead to a little more relaxed atmosphere for this particular video. So, my local pawn shop was having a 7 for $10 sale. My wife picked up a couple of movies, but I picked up the other 5, and I want to go through those real quick. First off, we got, now I usually don't do music video stuff or music compilations, but Beastie Boys, this anthology of some of their music videos. It features Sabotage, my personal favorite, Rump Shaker, and I guess it's called Shake Your Rump, not Rump Shaker, excuse me. And What You Want, very cool. 2-disc set. Even has the program and a poster, fold-out poster. It looks just like this. A little bit of a condition issue up here, but for, 5 for 10, I thought it was pretty cool. Next up, we have Brewster's Millions. I don't know when's the last time I've seen this from start to finish, but if you don't know, it's a comedy starring Richard Pryor where he has to spend $1 million in like so many days and not have a single thing to show for it. And if he does, he gets like, just a huge sum of money, even more than $1 million. So, looking forward to checking that out. Next up, I love multi-packs, especially on comedies. 48 Hours and Another 48 Hours, starring Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. I've seen both these movies, but I can honestly say I remember next to nothing about them. So looking really forward to checking both of them out on a double disc there. Now, another movie I've just never got around to watching is Red, starring Bruce Willis, Morgan Freeman, John Malkovich, and Helen Mirren. Now, it's based on a DC property, and I'm sure most of you have already seen it. I'm looking forward to checking it out, and, thought I'd start out with a DVD and maybe upgrade if I really enjoyed it. I'm going to take a drink, slow it down a little bit. It's not a race. And finally, the crown jewel of that haul was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I'd been hoping to find this on like Blu-ray or the Blu-ray Steelbook, but this is the DVD with the slipcover, so I thought that was pretty cool, and I finally watched it, and this is incredible. It's directed by Edgar Wright, and for me, it's awesome visuals, it's video game style. It was what I expected Sucker Punch by Zack Snyder to be, but that was a little bit of a disappointment. This movie was no disappointment. Really enjoyed it. Can't recommend it enough. Awesome. Now, if you just watch me mainly for the videos and the updates on DVDs and all that, that's awesome. But you probably want to shut it off now. I wanted to talk about a few things, let you know, about me. Before I do that, I do want to do a channel update. I know I've kind of been limited to collection updates, unboxings, and then a couple of collection overviews. Next up, I want to do my DVD collection overview, and then maybe my VHS collection, although it's really, really small, my VHS collection. But I'd like to do more things, and I hope to do that. I'd like to do reviews or reactions to movies, but you feel like, have you earned that right when you have, at this point, 30 subscribers? Which, don't get me wrong, I thank you. I appreciate my 30 subscribers. I love every one of you. I can't thank you enough. But you don't want to, overstep where you're at, where your lot is on YouTube, and so I've just been kind of fighting with that a little bit. But I know I don't want to get too much into a rut. I want to do some things different. This right here is kind of something different, so maybe it'll springboard into something. Maybe you guys will like it. The subscribers I got are awesome. You guys are very helpful, very talkative. Keep those comments coming. I hope to always be one of these guys that responds to every comment I get. Thank you. I can't thank you enough. Let's see. Next up, I want to briefly touch on a couple of dead horses that movie collectors have been beating. That's reboots and digital copy. Now, what's my thought on reboots? If you've watched my channel, you know that I've stated that I don't mind reboots. You got an interesting concept like Assault on Precinct 13, or, I hear Escape, even staying on the Carpenter thing, even Escape from New York, they're talking about rebooting it, and other stuff, and RoboCop. I don't mind that. These concepts are so cool, and they're limited to an extent by the time that they were made. So if somebody wants to take that basic concept and do something different with it, I'm fine with that. And to all those who, say, hey, let's have some original ideas, I agree with that. But then you look at things like, what's the most recent one, the Tom Cruise movie, Edge of Tomorrow, Scott Pilgrim, Pacific Rim. These are awesome new ideas or fresh ideas. And let's face it, they bombed. They didn't do well at the box office. So you can't blame these movie studios for saying, we need something already established. I get where they're coming from, and the proof's in the pudding. What's out there is the established properties. That's what make comic book movies so interesting to the movie theaters, movie studios. And that's one thing I want to talk about. Hold on. I actually hadn't planned on talking about it. But superhero movies, the Sausage Factory just did a big thing on superhero movies, which was awesome. Check it out. Check that video out, the Sausage Factory. They did an awesome long video on discussing superhero movies. And there's been a lot of announcements of new ones. And as a superhero movie fan, I've got tons of them. Even I feel like we're going to hit a point of oversaturation. But I can't blame the studios because, hey, it's an established license but gives them something a little bit fresh. Like, Ant-Man, Doctor Strange. Of course, the most recent announcement is Deadpool. It's, like I said, it's got a built-in audience, but it is something a little different. And you can't blame the movie studios when time after time these new projects are failing and they're losing millions of dollars. So that's my quick take on reboots and remakes. And I guess I added in the superhero thing. Next up is digital copy. Now, I get it. I've certainly been around long enough to see the evolution of the music industry and how now the idea of buying a CD seems ridiculous. You just download the tune you want. Here's my argument with that. I think the digital copy has revolutionized the rental market. It's so much easier just to rent a movie digitally, so you don't have to worry about taking it back or keeping up with it or anything, which is a problem in my household. So I really see the benefit there. It's a no-brainer. But I don't know how. I guess the movie studio, I hope they are planning to make enough money to offset the loss in actual purchasers they are. Because I know there's probably several collectors like me. I will buy a movie that's available on Netflix or Hulu or Amazon. Even though I could stream it already at no extra charge, I want that copy on my wall. If I can stream it for free right now or for no additional charge than what I'm already paying, what would be the point of me buying a digital copy of a movie? It just wouldn't make sense to buy additional streaming access when I already can. Whereas if I want to buy a physical copy, that to me makes perfect sense because I can put it on my shelf, I can look at it, I can touch it, rub it, the whole 9 yards, excuse me. So that's my thought on digital copy. I think, like me personally, I can honestly say I would cease to be a movie collector if I couldn't get physical media. Now, finally, I want to talk about something that's not movie related, really. The most recent thing going on right now is, of course, these NFL players and athletes that and abuse to their wives or spouses or their children. Now, I've got two minds of this. The obvious mind is if a player is hitting his woman or his child, he should be banned. He should be banned from the sport and then punished in a court of law to the fullest extent. I don't think any of us really are arguing that. What I want to focus on is sports media. Now, in my opinion, the whole concept of sports news and ESPN was to give this news reporting style to sporting events, to games, to series, to playoff pushes, to things like that. When did sports reporters become TMZ reporter rejects and whatnot? Should this stuff be reported on, abuse and arrest? Absolutely, but maybe mentioned by the sporting reporters, but leave that to the news media. You guys should be talking about stats. I mean, I know as a child I dreamed, first of all, of being an athlete, and second of all, being a sports reporter, getting to talk about sports for a living. Did these people grow up saying, my dream is to talk about the sexual misdeeds of a quarterback in the NFL? I don't get it. And it's just ruined ESPN for me. Maybe you guys still like it, and at times it can be beneficial, but I miss the time we could actually talk about sports on sports news, or when I remember when Sports Center was sports highlights for an hour. And I miss those days. I don't want to know every in and out of an athlete's personal life. I just want to know about his performance on the field. We're all humans. We're all flawed. If the flaws are serious enough, like with Adrian Peterson or Ray Rice, then yes, it needs to be talked about and brought out. But maybe not harped on as much on ESPN or Yahoo Sports or anything like that. That's my 2 cents. Hey, I hope you see my point, and if not, I'm sorry. I just feel like sports news should be about sports, and news should be about the personal stuff. Well, guys, I know this is a little bit different approach for retro CAC accumulations. Let me know. I'd like to do more of these. I just happen to have the house to myself tonight, so I thought I would churn one of these out. Check out Yingling Beer, and I'll leave and I want to do a shout out. I wasn't going to do this because when you're as small school as me as a YouTuber, you don't feel like you have the right to be doing shout outs. But there's a guy that supported me from the very beginning, and he's got a few videos on his channel. His name is JZ Just Too Weird. He does very short videos about movies and video games, and they're good. And like I said, they're very short, so they don't take up a lot of your time. So I'm going to leave a link to his channel, and I'll leave one to B Juniors, and then I'm going to leave one to Pizzao. I'm sure you're familiar with Pizzao of the Sausage Factory. He has been supportive from me since the first time I contacted him. And, like I said, he's one of the reasons this channel still even exists. But getting back to Jay-Z, Just Too Weird, he put a video on and pull it. I think he just gets a little discouraged, but he really is good, and he's trying. And I think with a little bit of support, he could grow. And he talks about like new video games and stuff, which I think there's a big, thirst for that out there in YouTube land. So, if you would, check him out and leave him a comment. Let him know I sent you. I know he'd appreciate that, and I'd appreciate it. And continue to watch and subscribe to me. I hope to start doing a little more content than I have been. I know I've been a little lazy, but lots going on. Hope you enjoy it. And I know this wrap-up's taking longer than the video, but I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed bringing it to you. Thanks, and take care.